Welcome to EYE on Sci-Fi podcast. Hello, everyone, and welcome to episode 213 of EYE on Sci-Fi podcast, the podcast where we share with you terrific indie science fiction and fantasy online short films, web series, and other closely related media. We also, on occasion, have conversations with the talented and interesting creators who are producing outstanding indie speculative work. Thank you for joining me. I am going to share with you in this episode a sci-fi short film, and I'm going to use a word that is thrown around a lot when it comes to describing films. This short film is truly cinematic. And what I mean by that is that when you watch this film, you are transported by the filmmaker into an entirely different world and culture. The name of the short film is Might, and it is by a director by the name of Emil Sallinen. Now, Might opens on a distant world that is controlled by a brutal totalitarian religion. It is most definitely a theocracy. Now, what I love, first of all, about Might is that the culture of this distant world, the aesthetic of it is heavily influenced by the Mayans and the Incas, from their high-tech armor and technology to their culture. And I think that that is really something that is fascinating to see because we haven't seen anything like this before, to my knowledge, in on-screen science fiction. And that's another reason why I champion sci-fi that is produced from other cultures by filmmakers who are part of other ethnic and cultural groups. Yes, diversity is the spice of life, and it enriches everything, including science fiction. So the story of Might is that there is a rebel faction on this world that is fighting against the totalitarian regime of this theocracy. And this theocracy is ruled by a class of corrupt priests who have told the people that the giant metallic object that is in the sky that they can see is a god. Now, the rebels refuse to believe this, and they are in open rebellion against the priesthood. When the short film Might opens, we meet one leader of the rebellion by the name of Mariam. And Mariam has been captured. And in her captivity, she encounters another prisoner who happens to be her estranged father. Now, her father abandoned Mariam's family years ago in order to join the rebellion, and they haven't seen him since. So not only does Mariam have to deal with her captivity, she also must contend with her estranged father. But both of them have an encounter with the metallic object that uncovers a fantastic secret that will change the course of everything. Might is a film that is really heavy on world building, which is what I love. You get a very close look at the culture of this world, from the costuming to, again, the high-tech armor, the weaponry, and also how its society is organized. And believe it or not, all of this is accomplished in less than 7 minutes. That's what I love about sci-fi and fantasy short films specifically, is that in the hands of talented filmmakers, you can enjoy a complete story while you're immersed in a different world. And oftentimes, this can be accomplished in a third of the time of a feature-length film. So, of course, I'm going to include a link to Might in the show notes of this episode. Just visit the link tree in this episode and you will be taken to the show notes where you can watch the film. You will also be able to visit our home site, theseventhmatrix.com, where we have curated many more terrific independent science fiction short films, web series, and other related media. I also need to ask you to visit our support section because without the kind and generous support of listeners like you, we would not be able to do the work that we do here on Ion Sci-Fi Podcast and over at the7thmatrix.com. And trust, we appreciate you a great deal. We also have a newsletter that is distributed Monday through Friday. And this is a micro newsletter. So what do I mean by that? In our newsletter, it will take you under 60 seconds to read each edition. And that is because we share one and only one pretty cool speculative gem that we think that you'll find interesting. So this can be a book, television series, or film review, an episode of Ion Sci-Fi Podcast, or other podcasts related to sci-fi and fantasy we think that you'll like to listen to, essays concerning the genre, and more. And also, for becoming a subscriber and supporting us in this way, you will receive a free gift. So again, make sure to check out the link tree that will be included in the show notes of this episode. Okay, that's it for this episode, everyone. Again, thank you for joining me, and until next time, remember to take a break, escape the mundane, and enter the fantastic. Take care.